What's up everybody, PGA Professional George Roy, and today is the first episode of No Strings Attached. This is going to be a video series where we talk about different skills, tests, drills, and games that you can play using your LowZone that are really going to amp up the engagement and the fun of your training sessions. Now, first step, grab your survey tape or your string and say goodbye, because this is easier. It's going to provide a better visual feedback, and it's actually measurable feedback. So what your student feels and sees while they're going through their training process, they're going to be able to analyze in a much more accurate method. So let's get started. Alright guys, first things first. Today we're going to be covering some chipping. So you're going to need your wedge, you're going to need your LowZone, and what we're going to be using is the ladder configuration that you've seen in probably a couple of the putting videos. Now the cool thing about the LowZone is even though this is the same configuration we can use in putting, it's all about having a measuring tool, visual measuring tool that we can use for different drills. Now what we've got when we establish this ladder configuration is essentially 5 separate linear targets. We've got a blue square, a white square, a red square, a white square, a blue square. So when a student is going through the progression of these drills, we're asking them to alter their technique a little bit in order to suit each constraint, but because the change is so minute and so small, they're actually going to have to really develop a feel for the things that they're modifying in order to produce these different results. So we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of actually honing or sharpening those very fine-tuned skills. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing a little game that I call Leapfrog. You can use this for a block practice drill, or you can turn this into a game with a group of kids. You know, you're free to do basically whatever you want, but there's a lot of really good things going on with this little drill or game that I think will translate into actual success on the course. So let me go ahead and show you how we do it. All right, so the objective for this drill here is to land our chip or pitch into each one of these zones and progress from short to long. Now, you know, we've all done the trick where we have a kid, you know, visualize their chip and they throw it and find their landing spot and see what it does. But there comes a point where we have to transfer that visualization into the actual act with a golf club. And this drill is going to be phenomenal for helping your kids develop a feel for how to actually control the distance of where they want to land it. All we're going to do is have them sit in a spot, and we're going to hit chips. First thing we want to do is land one in the blue. Then we're going to land one in the white. And we're going to land one in the red. Then in the white again. And finally into the blue. That one may have been a little short, but you get the point. Now, this is the very basic, the ground level drill, or variation of this drill. For an intermediate student, we can increase the difficulty in a number of different ways. First, we can adjust those zones so that they're no longer 4-foot zones. We can shrink them down to 3-foot zones or 2-foot zones and make that landing zone smaller and more challenging. Or we can add some other variables to the practice. What I'm going to do for my intermediate kids is I'm actually going to give them the ladder configuration here will act as their landing targets, and then we're going to stick a crosshair beyond the ladder as a finishing, where we want our ball to finish. All right, so now we've got our crosshair set up, and what we're going to be doing is we're still going to be trying to land it into the different colored zones of the ladder configuration, but in order to get it into our proper landing zone and roll it into the crosshair target, we're actually going to have to manipulate dynamic loft on the club and therefore manipulate trajectory. So if I landed into this first blue zone here, I'm going to have to hit a very low skipping shot that's going to run all the way back there. And the exact opposite will be true if I go all the way to the end of that ladder. I'm going to have to hit a higher trajectory shot, more dynamic, and get it into that crosshair. So just a couple of the different ways that you can really increase the variability in your practice and also increase that skill acquisition. All right, so now for the advanced player. We've already talked about the basics with the beginner and teaching them how to land it in a certain spot to account for rollout. We've talked about intermediate students and understanding dynamic loft and how it affects trajectory. But now with the advanced guys, we're going to challenge them a little bit more. Not only are they going to have to manipulate dynamic loft, we're going to force them to manipulate throughout the bag. So we're going to pull, let's say, a pitching wedge maybe. We'll pull like a 5-iron, and then we'll pull, let's see, there's a 7-iron. All right, so for every given club here, we've got a different landing zone that will produce rollout to our crosshair, or our finishing target. What the student's going to have to do is they're going to have to identify which club and how to manipulate that club in order to produce those two different results. A, the proper landing zone, B, being able to account for the rollout and actually get it to finish in the proper spot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Get out there and play it with your kids. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to get the feedback from you. If you've got some other ideas or some videos that you'd like to see, whether it's pitching, bunker shots, you know, putting, full swing, whatever, please comment or hit me with a message on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, wherever you're following me, and we'll put something together and put some content out there for you. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how you're loving your low zones.